The news day continues here on One News Now. I'm Pauline Verzosa. President Bongbong Marcos vows to step up efforts to combat online child sexual abuse. Marcos says he felt a, quote, deep sense of shame over the continued prevalence of such crimes in the country. Figures show that 1 in every 100 Filipino children are victimized by abuse, a statistic the president called appalling. He called on concerned agencies to remain committed and vowed to strengthen the country's criminal justice system.
And for us to allow this to happen in our country brings to me an overwhelming sense of shame because being in government, being in public service, we are not doing enough. We must do more.
Can bald people undergo a hair follicle test? Well, this is what Senator Bato de la Rosa asked the Philippine Drug Enforcement Agency, or PDEA, in a Senate budget hearing yesterday. An individual using drugs like cocaine can be detected by examining their hair through the hair follicle test. However, PDEA admitted they are not yet capable of doing this, but the agency is already developing the process. This prompted Senator De La Rosa to ask if PDEA can use hair strands in other parts of the body for the test.
Hindi ako, kalbo ako. Wala.
Ay, wala.
Hindi ako qualified mag-hair follicle
Wala,
test.
Wala, sir.
Pag sinabing hair, sir, hair lang talaga sa ulo?
Yes, sir.
Baka pwede yung hair sa
Hindi,
ilong,
pwede rin.
hair sa
Oo, pwede. Pwede, sir,
genitals.
lahat. Yes, pwede lahat.
Pwede.
Okay, paano kung sinave nyo, sir? Kasi once na pinutol mo yung buhok mo, wala nang ano, sir, doon, traces doon.
Pero sir, as far as efficiency is concerned, very highly efficient yung test na yan.
Yun naman, sir, ang sabi. Pero, yun nga, sir, anybody who comes to for the hair follicle test, pero unshaven naman siya, o shaved na pala siya, useless na. Pati babae, for example.
Congressman Johnny Pimentel says the House of Representatives is still searching for Harry Roque. Pimentel warns that they may also ask the Immigration Bureau to issue a whole departure order. Here's an excerpt from his interview on StoryCon.
I suppose he's already a wanted person. He's a fugitive. Is that correct? And where do we head from here?
Yes, actually, the order of detention was served to his office. May address na binigay. The Sergeant at Arms in coordination with the Philippine National Police, pumunta po dun sa opisina nila. Unfortunately, Mr. Harry Roque was not there. And then may pinuntahan pa po silang isang address. I'm not sure if it is his residence. And they have been looking for Mr. Harry Roque for the past 3 days. Ito po ay ka-4th day na nga, no? And in fact, I just got information that until now, that CIDG has taken over for looking for him. Hinahanap pa siya. Doon pa rin sa dalawang address na binigay, hindi pa rin siya matagpuan. So in short, as far as the order of detention is concerned, wanted na talaga siya doon. Because actually what we issued, Congress does not issue a warrant of arrest. When a person is cited for contempt, there is a corresponding motion to detain the said person in contempt at the premises of Congress. So ang in-issue po natin kay Harry Roque is order of detention, but it is an effect of warrant of arrest. So yun po ang na-issue natin sa kanya. So pinaghahanap na po siya ngayon. So that is why I said earlier this morning, kung hindi pa rin po natin mahanap si Harry Roque, then probably on Thursday, which we will have a 6th hearing, we will move for to request the Bureau of Immigration to issue a whole departure order for Harry Roque.
Yes. We'll be back with more stories after this break. Keep it here on One News. Some parts or areas in the country have already experienced flooding due to Tropical Depression Hener. In Cagayan, schools were flooded after heavy rain. Classes in preschool and elementary are already suspended today. Meanwhile, in Alfonso Castañeda, Nueva Vizcaya, an overflow bridge is not passable to motorists after the river swelled due to the rain. Over in Palawan, a rescue operation was conducted for a resident stranded in Rojas, Palawan. An automotive customizer has created an amphibious trike salamander. Now, this can travel on land and even on floodwaters. At para bigyan ng mukha ang balita, Mobile Journal, Amy Atienza.
Baha ang madalas na problema, kasunod ng malakas na pag-ulan dahil ng mga bagyo. At para makatulong, isang tricycle na swak pang rescue ang ginawa ng isang automotive customizer.
Ito ang tinawag na amphibious trike salamander, na likha ng automotive customizer na si Atoy Liave. Kita nyo naman, pwede sa lupa at pwede rin sa tubig. Nagamit na nga nila ito noong bumaha dahil sa bagyong Karina. Lumulutang kasi yan sa tubig.
Ang salamander kasi, nung binuo namin yan, our cost is only 100,000+ para mabuo namin yung prototype. That's a final prototype. Pero before that final prototype, we spent 8 million plus na to have that salamander working, especially the buoyancy. Kasi yung buoyancy, number one na importante yan. Dahil pag pumunta ka sa dagat or mag-rescue ka, kailangan 6 people nakasakay doon, kahit i-wave mo ng i-wave yan, dapat hindi tumaob.
Kwento ni Atoy, taong 2015 pa nila inilunsad ang amphibious tricycle dahil sa matinding pagbaha nang tumama ang bagyong Ondoy noong 2009.
Nag-start lahat yung passion namin sa salamander. Nung Ondoy kasi about 10 years ago also, 10 or 11 years, maraming namatay. So nagulat tayo lahat sa situation na
Kaya angkop talaga itong ibiyahe kahit bumabaha dahil parang nagiging bangkayan sa tubig. Kakasya rito ang 6 at may compartment pa para sa mga gamit para hindi mabasa. Pwedeng electric engine o combustion engine ang ikabit. Kaya nitong tumakbo ng hanggang 80 kilometers per hour kapag sa lupa at 11 kph naman kapag sa baha.
doon sa project na yun. Tapos 6 people, can 6 people at the same time, it can move around the city. Ang ano niya kasi para siyang tricycle. Para siyang imagine mo tricycle na pwede sa land and pwede rin sa water.
3 taon daw bago nila mabuo ang salamander tricycle. Sa ngayon, prototypes muna ang meron sila na nagagamit ng kanilang mga kabarangay sa Paltok, Quezon City. Marami raw ang nagpahayag ng interes na bumili mapa-local government units at maging sa ibang bansa. Pero aminado siyang hirap sila sa mass production.
I would say 90+% of the local government are very interested with our salamander, but nobody wants to invest on the financial side. Ang lagi lang sinasabi sa amin, Atoy, kung sakaling nag-mass production na kayo, let us know. Siguradong order kami ng marami niyan. In fact, they want to order immediately. So what we need is somebody who can invest to have our own factory, to have our own facilities, to have our own tao, engineers, to have that spare parts para mabuo mo siya ng mura.
Ang malikhaing isip na gustong makatulong sa kapwa, kaya talagang makagawa ng pagbabago. Kailangan lang din ng suporta para ito ay maipatupad. Mobile Journal, Amy Atienza po, hatid ang mukha ng balita.
And now for the latest on the weather, some parts of Luzon have been placed under tropical cyclone wind signal number 1 due to tropical depression Hener. And to give us some updates, we have Pag-asa weather forecaster Shinel Dominguez joining us on the line. Shinel, good morning. Nasaan na nga ba si Bagyong Hener? At ano-anong mga lugar ang nasa ilalim na ng signal number 1?
Magandang umaga din po sa inyo at magandang umaga din po sa mga tagapakinig po natin. So kanina pong 8 a.m. ay naglabas po tayo ng Tropical Cyclone Bulletin number 9. Ito pong si Hener ay huling namataan sa vicinity po ng Ambagyo, Nueva Vizcaya. Ito ay may taglay na lakas na hangin na 45 km per hour at pagbugso na 55 km per hour. Ito ay kumikilos southwestward sa bilis na 15 km per hour. Dahil po dito kay Bagyong Hener, meron tayong Tropical Cyclone Wind Signal number 1 dito sa Cagayan kasama na ang Babuyan Islands, Isabela, Quirino, Nueva Vizcaya, Apayao, Kalinga, Abra, Ifugao, Mountain Province, Benguet, Ilocos Norte, Ilocos Sur, La Union, Pangasinan, Zambales, Tarlac, Nueva Ecija, Pampanga, Bulacan, the northern portion ng central portion ng Bataan, Aurora, northern portion ng Quezon, kasama ng Polillo Island, northern portion ng Rizal, at northern portion ng Metro Manila. Specifically po dito sa Quezon City, Caloocan City, Valenzuela, Malabon, Navotas, Marikina, Manila, San Juan, at Mandaluyong. Kung mapapansin po natin, wala naman po tayong nararanasan na pag-ulan, kaya lilinawin lang po natin sa mga kababayan po natin, kaya po tayo naglalabas ng Tropical Cyclone Wind Signal number 1 para magpapaghanda po dahil po sa lead time na 36 hours. Regarding naman po sa pag-ulan, ang basihan po ng wind signal po ay hangin, hindi po pag-ulan. Sa ngayon po, sa nakikita po natin, hindi po natin inaalis ang posibilidad na bumaba po ito into low pressure area sa Hener habang po nasa kalupaan pa siya. Pero pagdating po niya, pagtawid po niya ng kalupaan, pag-emerge po niya sa West Philippine Sea, ay asahan po natin, mag-i-intensify po ito ulit.
Alright, maraming salamat para sa update na yan. Pag-asa weather forecaster, Shinel Dominguez. And now we are turning it over to the Senate hearing on Pogos and dismissed Bamban Mayor Alice Guo, which is now already taking place.
Then I will request the COMSEC to acknowledge the resource persons and administer the oath. And may I remind again that the order of questioning after the chair will be in order of seniority here in the Senate and arrival of senators. So ngayon, yun po ay pagkatapos ng chair, si SP Pro Tempore Jinggoy Estrada, Majority Leader Tolentino, at Senator Sherwin. So colleagues, meron po bang opening statements? Yes, SP Pro Temp.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, and good morning to the members of this honorable committee. Okay. Season 2 na po tayo ng hindi ko na po maalala, hindi ko po alam, Your Honor. Alam mo, Alice, dahil sa patuloy na pagsisinungaling mo rito sa committee at sa mga paikot-ikot mo sagot, kuha mo na yung inis ng sambayan ng Pilipino. But through these extensive Senate hearings, we were able to uncover who you really are, who your business associates are, and how extensive your network of illegal activities are. And we are far from over. Ngayon pa man, maski wala kaming halos mahita sa pagtatanong sa iyo, at maski iligaw mo ang committee ito sa mga sagot mo, hindi kami hinto dito sa Senado. Dahil alam namin, lalabas at lalabas ang buong katotohanan sa uli. Papaalala ko lang sa iyo na maraming kaso ang hinaharap at harapin mo. When all these accusations will be proven, you will live most of your adult life behind bars. And if you want to save yourself, this is the right time to divulge all the individuals behind the illegal activities of Pogo. At baka sakaling maprotektahan ka ng komite at ng institusyon ng Senado. Maraming salamat po, Madam Chair.
Maraming salamat din po, SP Pro Temp. Other opening statements, dear colleagues? Sen. Sherwin.
Thank you, Madam Chairperson. Unang-una sa lahat, nagpapasalamat po ako sa ating mga enforcement agencies, sa PAOK, sa PNP, na sila po ang may dahilan kung bakit po natin nabulgarin ganitong mga criminal activities sa Bamban, sa Porac, at nagpapasalamat rin po tayo sa Indonesian government dahil sa mabilis po nilang paghuli sa mga pugante na tumakas sa kamay ng ating batas. Pero hindi pa ho tapos yung ating pag-iimbestiga dahil hindi pa rin ho natin nalalaman kung sino po ang nag-remit ng bilyon-bilyong pera na pumasok dito sa ating bansa. Nung sa mga huling hearing ho natin, Madam Chairperson, natuklasan ho natin na hindi milyon, hindi daang milyon, kundi bilyon ang pumasok dito sa ating bansa na hindi ho natin na-detect o hindi po nare-report sa AMLAC. At ito po ay isang napakalaking dahilan kung bakit ho tayo dapat mag-alala. Dahil napakadali ho magpasok ng pera sa ating bansa, hindi ho na-detect ng ating gobyerno at yung perang yun nagagamit sa illegal. Ngayon, nahuli ho natin sa Pogo, sa human trafficking, sa scamming. Pero itong perang to, pwede rin ho pumunta sa illegal drugs. Pwede rin ho pumunta sa kidnapping. At pwede rin pong maging biktima ang ating mga kababayan. Kaya importante po yung sinasabi ho nilang sundan yung money trail. Saan po nanggaling itong perang ito? Sino ho ang nag-remit ng perang ganitong kalaki sa ating bansa? At bakit hindi po ito na-report sa ating otoridad para po maimbestigahan kaagad at mahinto yung criminal activities na ginagawa nitong mga sindikato. Muli nagpapasalamat po ako sa ating chairperson dahil po sa kanyang patuloy na pagdinig at marami na rin ho tayong nakalistang mga legislative proposals para po tuluyan ng mahinto yung mga ganitong illegal na aktibidad sa ating bansa, lalong-lalo na yung pagpasok po ng illegal na pera sa ating bansa. Maraming salamat po.
Maraming salamat din po, Senator Sherwin. Majority Leader?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just would like to again reiterate my appreciation to Judge Sara De Los Santos for correctly applying the law when she ordered the transfer of the case of Ms. Go from the Capas Regional Trial Court Branch 109, and it has now been referred properly to the Regional Trial Court of Valenzuela City, as this representation reiterated last week. It's now lodged